Hey, everybody. Hey there. I hope you can hear me. I'm like going to try to. Hey. Let me just put this up so I can see everybody. There you go. All right. I don't know if it's going to be like trolley troll. Hi, Black Rose 11. Good to see you, babe. I'm just going to turn on a light here so I can see, because if I don't have my my little spring lights on, I'm not happy. Okay. Yay. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you. Hey, the gang's all here. Oh, you did get notified. Oh, good. All right. I hope I get like a mod or two in. So we'll try. And if it gets too insane, I'm going to tell you. So I had to jump on to talk to y'all because I just got really upset about something. Hey, guys. Texas Lassie, good to see you. I might make you a mod, Texas Lassie, just because I might need a little help. So I just wanted to share with you all because something really upset me, put me into upset. And you know me, when I'm in upset, I go in a rant. Hey, little dove. Hey, Isabel. Let's see. You're watching a Watergate documentary. Well, that might be a little bit more. I'm cooking in dishes. Hi, Sam. Hi, Bren. Nurse Nana, Glitter Crush. Hey. Hey, good. I'm glad you're here. Hey, Mary. I'm just going to say hi for a second. Hey, Becky. Nicole. So I did not tell my mods. So I am. Oh, you're practicing calligraphy. Ooh, good, Julie. All right. Hi, Vanessa. So what I was going to say is if you see trolls, please block them. I'm not going to be able to trolley troll on the trolls. So that's a great announcement, right? Well, and there we go. So let's see. I am going to Black Rose. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to, if it's okay with you, I'm going to make you a moderator. And you can mod for me. And I'll do the same thing. Oh, thank you. Aren't these glasses fun? I'm going to do the same thing. I know we've talked about this Texas Lassie. Oops, I didn't mean to make Bren. Sorry, Bren. Oops. Okay, so let me just get Texas. Sorry. Great. Okay. So I didn't realize you guys would be up so late. This is kind of like, thanks, Black Rose 11. I appreciate you. Well, so I just I know I put this quote up in the what the live chat is about. So I was going to just share with you what came up for me today and kind of get you guys' thought on it. Something that I realized, and I had this like aha moment, because some of you know I just created a new tarot deck, right? And so my tarot deck, it's early on the West Coast, so you guys are clicking out there. All right. So what I noticed is that I just created a new tarot deck, and in my Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck, it's got a lot of diversity. There's everybody. There's Asian, gay, Black, white, Indian. There's just everybody in here, right? And this was done like 10 years ago now. So my new deck is just, I had it drawn by a Ukrainian artist, and it's all white people. And I never thought about it because it's kind of what it is. Oh, great, Humanimals. Sorry to miss you on this one. Okay. So here's what's going on. People are on this bandwagon about diversity. Now, here's the thing. This is my thought on it, and I want to get you guys' thought too. Did I say you guys's? Oh my God, I just sound like I sound like somebody I would go, did you really just say that? Okay, so sorry guys. I'm looking for, because I just wrote this on Facebook and I wanted to honestly tell you what I think and what's on my mind. And you know how I feel about Facebook right now. So here's what I wrote. I said, the sad state of diversity is that it's not diverse today. It's designed to shame others into thinking exactly as everyone else. I'd rather have an opinion to all opinions. I'd rather have an open mind to all opinions and ideas. That to me is real diversity. that is, in a sense, it's true inclusion, right? That open mind. So if you limit diversity to what someone looks like, it's just judgment, which is still alive. And I'm really sad over this today because there's no diversity without a true open mind. What's the point of diversity, right? If inclusion is actually limited to only what a certain group thinks. So it's kind of like, it's almost like an oxymoron today. And I love what Oscar Wilde said. Of course, I had to use him. And it says, people who find ugly meanings in beautiful things are corrupt without being charming. And I thought, whoa, that is just so right on. So what I want to say about this, and I think we really have to, exactly, thank you, we're the human race, and it is a race, right? And we're all going to the end, by the way. You know, life is a hysterical activity on the way to the grave, if we have to say really what's going on here. So why are we all so pent up about, it's got to be, you know, diversity? It's like, I think we've got to be open to what diversity looks like, not only physically, but in open minds. We have to really have that mind that's kind of like saying, you know, guys, like, I don't care. And I know this is strange, but like, I don't really care. In some ways, I love that I don't know what you guys look like, because you can be brilliant and be whoever you want to be, you know? And I think that that's the thing, is like, what I love about this community is that, and I'm getting truth bombs, that y'all just say what you're thinking. Thanks, Sarah from Skincare. I know I love my new OPI polish. I'm like in love with it. You know, I think that you can't agree with anyone now without getting all kinds of anger. And Rudy Rico, that's the point. See, this is why I say I honor opinions. Hey, Nicole Knox, I honor opinions, but I do not like mean. Don't be mean. You know, being mean makes you ugly. And believe me, it makes me ugly. I don't look pretty when I'm mean. And you know, that's why I'm always saying, say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean. Because you know what? If we have open minds, then we have diversity. You see, this is the cluster joke of all of everything. You know, people screaming, well, you know, you don't have enough like people of XYZ in your deck. And it's like, you know what, guys? My deck was created authentically from me. That's why with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle, I have people of all different colors, creeds. There are gay characters in here. I didn't even know until I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I wrote it. So what I'm trying to say to everybody here is like, this is about us learning to foster open minds, which really creates diversity. You see, if we have an open mind, we don't need to have a law about diversity, because at the end of the day, I'm going to hire you because you're good for the job, not because you're some color I'm supposed to hire this week, or, you know, whatever that looks like. I mean, and it's really funny because I don't care really at the end of the day. I mean, the gal who ran my company was from Ghana a couple of years ago, and she was great. You know, it's kind of like, what was I going, oh, I got to hire somebody who's like no, I said, I want to bring in somebody who's brilliant. She was brilliant, you know? So what I'm saying, Wild Irish Rose, good to see you. What I want to say about this is this day really stressed me. And here's how I feel about this right now. I think that if you feel, and I want to honor this, if you feel like, look, I'm Asian, I'm Black, I'm Mexican, whatever you are, and you feel, look, you know, I'd like to see more of my, if you will, my imagery in a particular area, and I'm talking about my card decks, right? That's fine, but don't put down people because it's not diverse in your opinion. Just say, hey, you know, I like that deck, or I don't. Who cares, right? If, you know, it's like, I'll buy a deck because I like a deck, not because it's like, oh, this is a diverse deck, so it represents everybody. No, I'm just going to buy something because I like it. Let me tell you something. Remember the Nike thing? Everybody's like, oh, I'm going to boycott Nike because of X, Y, Z. Well, I didn't boycott Nike. I didn't like Nike, so I never bought Nike, you know? And it's just like Chick-fil-A. I kind of like their sandwiches, so I go there. But it doesn't have anything to do with diversity. It has to do with I go where I go, right? Like, why do I have to be something that someone else thinks I'm supposed to be so that then I'm not racist? Well, I'm going to give you all the big cosmic joke. I don't know anybody who isn't prejudging other people, okay? And if you say you are, you're lying. But here's the thing. That doesn't mean I'm going to act on it. That doesn't mean, and isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth, though? It's like, isn't it really like we're all looking at people and judging them, whether that's by their color, their weight, they're too thin, they're too heavy, they're too tall, too thin. We're always looking at people going, and don't you have an opinion? Be honest. You'll sit in a restaurant and go, oh, look at that person. Oh, I wonder what, and you're thinking it. Thank you. We can't help it, Becky Ferguson. It's human nature. Here's what separates the girls from the women and the men from the boys. We know how to behave. We know decorum. We know, something, that's a thought that's not supporting me or anybody else, and I'm not going to share it. Not because I'm like, oh, I've got to be diverse. No, it's kind of like I'm going to be nice to somebody because it's nice to be nice. You want to feel good in your life? Do good. I'm going to share with you the real difference between men and women in that sense. This is part 2 of my men and women stuff. Okay. Men have to do good to feel good. Women have to feel good to do good. So when you are criticizing a woman, she's going to be like this. I know it's true for me. I go, and I literally freeze. I can't move. I go, I don't feel good, so I don't want to do anything. If you're criticizing me, I'm going, I don't want to do it. So when I saw that post tonight, and it was somebody I respect in my industry, and she was talking about how she likes to see herself in cards and blah blah blah. But I get that. But what about those of us who, I don't know, I've created a diverse deck, but I did it before it was popular. Now I'm doing a deck that's white. What difference does it make? Listen, here's the deal. Something either vibrates with you or it doesn't. But to walk around and think that, we have to just like with men, we want to change their feelings. Well, in order for a man to change his feelings, he has to do something good. That's just the way it is. They do good to feel good. We feel good to do good. It's just the way it is, right? So I love the Spanish. I'm going, what? Okay. So what I'm saying, it's like, okay, Rudy Rico, sometimes I love your comments. Rudy, they're fab. Remember when we were little kids and we'd see a kid at the park, not care about color or anything, and just say, hey, want to be friends? Thank you. He just said, I miss those days. Rudy, I miss those days. I miss the days when, and I'm going to come back to you, Mary, because that's great. I miss the days when we could just talk to somebody without an agenda. Do you know what I mean? Without going, oh, I'm looking cool because I'm talking to a Black person, or I'm looking cool because I have a friend who's Hispanic. You know what? I don't really care what you are. If you're an interesting person, I want you in the room with me. And you know what? I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody, because at the end of the day, I want open minds around me. And those are the people that are interesting. Those are the people that just go, yeah, thank you, Rudy. I kind of feel like that now. I feel like walking up to people here going, hey, you want to be my friend? It's like, I remember that. And I remember one of the first times I ever recognized the difference in color with people was my best friend. And her name was Kyla McDaniel. I loved Kyla. Oh my God, she was my bestie. And the day Martin Luther King was killed, she came to me and said, I'm sorry, I can't be your friend anymore because your people killed Martin Luther King. Now, I didn't really understand that. Like, I was like, really? I went, I was like, and I went home and cried. My mother just said, find another friend and just let her, honor her choices. And I'm like, what's 7, okay. And I think it was a carefree time. And Astrofire, a lot of people focus on what makes us different rather than what makes us more alike and in common. Thank you. You know what? I agree with this, Spinner Check. We are diverse. European white, Cuban, one biological child, a child that's African American. We get backlash for adopting a child having a relationship with the bio mom. Thank you. You know what? But here's the thing that you're sharing, Spinner Chick, that I want to say to you that's a little bit different than what everybody else out there is saying, is that, you know what? You're open-minded. And just the fact that an adopted child having a relationship with the biological mother, open-minded. So you see, the diversity is working because you're open-minded. If you're not open-minded, diversity's a joke. Because then you just have an opinion that's like, you must be like this. And it's kind of like, why are we trying to push people into boxes and go, you have to be this way, and you have to hate so-and-so, and you have to resist? What do I have to do that for? I don't want to. I'm too busy. I'd rather have my life. You know, and I'm glad you're saying this, Sam the Schnoz, you're so funny. I hope soon color disappears. It's a cliche, but definitely I agree. You know what's funny is I think that the more we focus on it, the more it appears as a big thing. And I forget who said it, but if you really listen to, and I listen to a lot of cool Black scholars, and they go, why are we still talking about this? And I get it. Like, as a white person, I go, oh, that's interesting. Because I'm more kind of like, oh, that's interesting. But I'm listening to these folks who are emerging as leaders, and they're not focusing on the past. They're not saying, oh, we need to go do this. They're saying, what can we do to move forward together as a nation, as a community, right? And I think that's so important. Duty Ron! Nobody pushes me around. I'm too big. That's why I love you. And you know what I want to say too, and this ties into true crime, and I'm glad that Duty Ron's here. You know, one of the things, and I was sharing with somebody about your channel today, Duty Ron, I told a few people, and by the way, check out Duty Ron. He's right here. He's one of the mods. It's Dutyron. He talks about the true crime cases and the police procedural and things that are going on behind the scenes. What I like to talk about is the idea that I really believe this whole, and I'm just going to say it, this whole bullshit with the idea of diversity is crippling groups of people, and what people really want is an open mind. They want to belong. They want you to love them. And you know, they did studies years ago, and stop me if I'm wrong on this, Duty Ron, because you would know. I remember studies years ago that they said that the reason gangs exist is because it's like a family. They've got each other's back. I mean, we may have opinions about it or whatever, but at the end of the day, you know, the thing is they come together as a community. Why do you think mafia exists? Because they're La Familia. Why do you think the police have that kind of feeling of like a community? See, when we look at the focus of each of those communities, right, we look at the idea of fear versus open mind versus diversity. Now, when we look at those three things and we look at the idea of diversity, okay? Diversity is something that says you have to be fair to people when they're not fair to you. Open-minded says, I'm going to be fair to every single person. I'm going to treat every single person on the same plane, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to be an idiot about it. I'm going to be open-minded. I'm going to listen to what you have to say, and then I'm going to just discern the truth. But you see, the minute I say I have to be diverse about it, it means that I'm putting you in a lesser position. And I want you to really get that. That diversity, I think, is bull crappy. Because at the end of the day, what we're really talking about is, folks, tell me if I'm right on this. Are we in this together, or are we trying to be diverse? You know, if you think of it, and I'm going to truth pops, diversion is diverse, like boom. You know, it's like this is the BS of politics today. And I'm not going to get into politics, but what I am going to say is don't buy into the diversity conversation. Buy into your open mind and say, you know what? I want to include these people, but what's the best way to do it? You know what I can't stand the most? You know what gets me insane? Yeah, you've got a good gang. Duty Ron's like, I'm always saying, I always say I'm the part of the largest gang in New York City, the NYPD. And it's a good gang, right? Because you know what? They've got each other's backs. And he said it the other night. Duty Ron was modding on my channel, and he said, or I don't remember when, but it was like, I've got your back. And you know, that's the thing that I love about an open mind. An open mind says that person may need me, and I'm going to be there for that. And I'm going to join a group that I would be proud to be a part of. And I'm going to tell you something. One of the things we forget sometimes in America, right? And I want to say this, you know, you can't go to Mexico and become Mexican, but you can come to America and become an American. We as a community belong to what I still hold as the biggest open mind community ever. Please don't let that be taken from you. Don't let that be taken from you by some bullshit terminology that means nothing to you. What I'm trying to say is have an open mind. Treat others as they belong here. Be kind. You hear me say this, right? At the end of every day, it's like, thank you, Black Rose 11. You really are sweet. You know, and I want to say, be kind to people. And I said this the other night. I was like, you know what? We don't know what people are going through, folks. We don't know what kind of pain they're in. You know, one kind word from you can mean the difference between them hurting themselves or others. And, you know, even when we look at gang culture, they are taking care of each other. And and believe me, I'm not promoting anything. But what I am saying is that there is a culture around belonging. And we really have this idea that we have to be diverse. And let me tell you something. I don't know about you, but if I came into your house and said, you know, you have to invite these 5 people to your party, or you can't have a party, you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, it's kind of like, why? And I remember when my friend Tracy Ross, she was on that show Girlfriends, and before then, there was Sex and the City, remember? And people were like up in arms and going, oh, there's no Black people on Sex and the City. And people were like, well, they were 4 white girls, you know. But now Girlfriends came out later, and it was a great show. And so what I'm trying to say is that the true path, right, is we either hold each other up and have everyone's back, or we have no one's back. I'm sorry. I can't have one person's back. Rudy Rico, you said I'm a dork. You're not a dork. You're funny. But I think that's the point, is that we have to be in this together. And that goes back to what Dr. King said, Martin Luther King Jr. He said, we may have arrived on different ships or boats, but we're in the same ship now. And that is really, you know, yeah, I love Duty Ron's channel too. So by the way, everybody, if you get a chance, go over to Duty, DUTYRON, like his channel, hit the bell, because you'll get notices when he's on live. And he's covering a great case now. Duty Ron, can you list what the case is? It's the woman in Staten Island. It's just gory, but he's brilliant. So if you get a chance to follow him, please do so. It's great. Yeah, he's really wonderful. So I think what I'm trying to say is that it kind of hurt my feelings tonight when I saw this post from somebody who I really respect. When I say in my industry, she does decks, and I do, you know, I do 2 decks. I mean, I have my 2nd deck coming out, and it was like, you know what? Oh, that's it. Janine Camarada. She, yeah, I know. I feel really sorry for that woman. But I'm going to talk about that in a second. What I was saying is that someone just said, you know, that she decided not to review a deck because it wasn't racially diverse, and she felt, you know, she had talked to other big tarot people who said that they didn't want to review something that wasn't racially diverse. And I thought, you know what? That's racism. Like, you know, why would I say I'm going to boycott a creator who did something from their heart, right? So, you know, I think it isn't quite fair, is it? And Becky Ferguson said that. So what I'm saying is that I get that there has been an unfairness for many minorities for a long time. But I don't think the answer is going to be tearing down other people. I think the answer is, and I had a friend, and I hope y'all don't hate me on this one. Here's what I feel about this. I had a friend who's really into racial justice, and she's someone who like doesn't work. Okay, her family has a lot of money, and and she's wealthy, so it's kind of like this oxymoron in a funny way. But she's really into it. And she came over and said, "You know, Tori, you really should come to our meetings." And I said, "Why?" You know, Why? And she said, well, I think you'd really dig it. And she said, it's, what was it she said about, it's, there's a lot about white privilege. And I said, you know what I feel? And she said, what? I said, when we start talking about Black privilege, I'm in. Because I want to really give someone a hand up. I don't feel anybody, wants to be feeling like they're less than. And Duty Ron, thank you so much. Here's a Duty Ron thing, everybody. He goes like this. He goes, thank you for the super chat. He's awesome. Thank you for the super chat, Duty Ron. Oh, Tim, good to see you. Let's see. Julie, I'm glad you said this. Julie New just said, well, it's just because you created these cards and they are white people doesn't mean that you've left others out on purpose. No, I really didn't. Honestly, I was thinking more about the fact that it's chakra and the 7 colors. And the woman who drew them is from the Ukraine. I told that to I had a PR person who said, well, and she's white. And she said, some people are saying it's not a diverse deck. And I went, what? And she went, yeah, there's no people of color. And I said, it was drawn by a white woman in the Ukraine. She went, oh. I said, they don't, she doesn't see diversity, And so here's the thing. It's like, I'm not trying to be, exclude people. I'm trying to be open-minded to what everything is. And so I think we just run the danger of sometimes it's taking a stand for myself is good, but saying that someone else is bad because they take a stand for themselves and they're not lowering themselves, that's not fair. Just because you have some things, I think Mimi, good point. What is she saying? She said sometimes it's easier said than done because you can't fix yourself if you don't acknowledge it, unfortunately. And you know what? Here's the thing I want to say. I'm not interested let me put it this way to you, Mimi, and I think this is so key, and I'm so glad you're saying this. You know what? Here's the deal. The people who are I mean this, right? The 7 white supremacists, I'm not interested in changing them. I'm interested in changing myself and being an example for other people. I'm not interested because those 7 people aren't going to listen to me. They don't want to hear it. Nor do the people who are out committing crimes. They don't want to hear it because they can't yet. And a lot, I'm not giving up on them. It just means that those aren't the people that I can talk to because they're not going to listen. Hold on one second. I just want to say thank you. Dana, thank you for the super chat. She says, I'm so glad you're talking about this. I'm so sick of hypocrisy. Good for you. And that's the thing. And I want to just go back to what Mimi said, because I think you're making a really good point, Mimi J, and I don't want to minimize it, because I think that is a very open-minded thing to say, and I want to acknowledge her as well, Dana, because I think this is an important thing. When she said sometimes that's easier said than done because you can't fix yourself if you don't acknowledge it. But I'm going to guarantee something, Mimi, you acknowledge it, don't you? So the question is, and here's the thing, I acknowledge it. But what I'm doing is I want to honor the people of color to find their voice and not make me be the person for them. I'm not. I want to honor their voices. And when I listen to people, I'm getting truth bombs, when I listen to smart, intelligent Americans who just happen to be people of color, I'm listening. I want to hear what you have to say. But, I don't want it to be, they're not going to get it. Well, guess what? They're not. And Duty Ron can speak to this. The jails are filled with people who are never going to get it. And Midnight says, wow, Tori, I loved your channel until this talk. I'm so disappointed. I get that you make your own work, but to talk about Black privilege and stuff like that, it's really sad. I'm really sorry to hear you say that too, Midnight 56, and I get it. And if it's not for you, that's fine. What I'm talking about is I want to see people be equal. And I think that we have to change the conversation. And so, you know what? I think anytime, and I'd love to hear what is disappointing you, because I don't know based on what you said. I just know that it's like you're telling me you're disappointed and I want to acknowledge that you are, but I don't know what it means. So, and it's fine if you want to just zip. Because some people just go, I hate this, and they run off. And you know what? I have to be okay with that. And it's hard. It's hard to do that because, see, and Nicole Knox, you just said it. Let's see. I want to hear what stuff like that is. Yeah, I do too, because thank you, Boston Bleach Teeth. I want to hear what that is too, because stuff like that, it's kind of like, I don't know what that means. Yes, they are, and it's 100% true. I'm unclear what you mean, Duty Ron. So can you just clarify? Yeah, you know, we all need to reach, we have to have the, okay. I'm not sure, Eduardo, about all of the song references, so I'm kind of taking it out because I'm not sure what that is because it's not in English, so I'm removing it for now. These days, we're so trained to be so politically correct. We can't just be kind and truthful. We're so worried and we censor ourselves constantly. You know what? Kai and Daniels, you said it. You said it. Because the thing is, you know, and Tim said it. We need that reach of hands and support each other. We all go through different things in our life. Yes. And you know, this is the thing I want to say. I'm just kind of like, I don't care what you create. If I like your artwork, I'm buying it and putting it in my house. Does that mean, like, you know, if I like pictures of whippets, I don't like a certain artist? I don't know. Like, you know, I think it's kind of like, I want everybody to feel that they belong. That's really what I want to feel. And, you know, I think that the problem, and I'm just going to, what does that say? Distancing language. They feel uncomfortable with an unfamiliar topic. Good point. Good point. I think that's a really good point, Michaela. And here's what I want to say about this. You know, people talk a lot about white privilege, and I'm not denying it. Okay, I'm not going to get into it doesn't exist. What I am going to say about it is I understand it's a problem. Can you tell me what we need to do to make everybody equal? Can you tell me what we need to do that's going to be something that everybody will listen to? And I think that's the, you know, let's see. I do think our platforms and such need to deal with our own priv. I don't know what that means, Midnight 56. Not a lot of word count here. I'm a devoted fan. Thank you very much. You've been so helpful. But for myself as a white woman who is a writer, I do think our platforms and such need to deal with our own priv. You mean our privilege? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm so uncertain. I'm so sorry, everybody. Let's see. Someone has issues. Someone made an issue of vanilla and chocolate ice cream in Texas. See, this is yeah, I think that's the thing is that, you know, I think the problem is that people look at this as so fear-based and they immediately, and this is something I really feel. I want to say, and I'm just going to use Black people as an example. Forgive me if I'm being, you know, I'm just going to say it. I think that as a race, they're very smart. Now, you know, the idea that somebody who's white knows what's better for a Black person is absolutely absurd to me. And this is where I get really into upset. When people get on their bandwagon about, oh, we need to help them, as if they're some helpless people. Now, do I want to give a hand up? Absolutely. Do I want to support people in their voices? Absolutely. But the truth is that, you know, I just think I don't want to treat people like children, you know? And here, okay, AJ Baby, I'm really glad you're saying, as someone who's triracial, Black, Polish, and oh, you must be gorgeous, Czechoslovakian. Oh my gosh. I find the privilege battle quite difficult. And see, I want to, like, I don't know. Like, I want to hear more about that. And see, that's Black kids by the age of 8 know that they are at a disadvantage. Same applies to Native Americans. Yes. Now, here's the thing. The thing is, what can we do in this moment but say, yeah, it exists, and acknowledge it and go, yeah, that exists. And what do we do without shaming other people in the process? I think that's what I'm trying to say. And Do you think we will ever reach that point? I think we can. I do think we can. And I think what it's going to take is the understanding that you can never tear anybody else down to build yourself up. And that, by the way, goes across the board. So, and you cannot tear yourself down to build someone up, which I think looks like a little, let's see, all one narrative. Oh, thank you, Midnight 56. For myself, good, I'm glad you're saying this. I run a literary journal and a publishing house and focus on diversity. All one narrative is boring and not an accurate view of the world. Right on. I agree. I agree. And see, but what I want to say something to you, what I want to say in this, excuse me, and I want to add, if I may, is that's an open mind to me. You know, diversity is a buzzword that we use to say, and like you said, in a publishing company or or corporate America, but an open mind is what an individual needs. And that's what I'm saying, you know, and I'm glad Primrose 63, I'm glad you're saying souls are souls, people are people. I want to learn how to be more open-minded. I'm not saying I haven't. Oh, here's what, and I like what you're saying, Midnight 56. How can I come to this decision? To use my own privilege to be present with it, give platform to other voices, was I dealt with understanding I have responsibility in that. You know, and I think you're doing it though. You have a publishing company that is supporting diversity in thought and in speech. You're doing it. So what I'm saying is that we have to do our part. And as individuals, we stay kind to each other. And AJ Baby, oh, thank you, Tori. Difficult, like no matter what I do or how I act, neither side is happy. I just wish all this color stuff would stop. Just stop. It leaves people feeling so lost. See, I'm getting truth bumps. AJ Baby, wow. Okay, wow. Because see, that's what I'm trying to say. Listen to her post, because that's the point I'm making, is that what happens is we end up alienating people because they don't know which side they should be on, you know? And it's like we think we have to be on all sides. Thank you. And yeah, thank you, Nicole Knox. When I was, Julie New said, when I was 8 years old, I was told by one of my friend's fathers that he didn't want his daughter playing with Mexicans. That's disgusting. Disgusting. See, my dad always said to me, I don't really care who your friends are as long as you don't hang out with hoodlums. That was his rule, you know? I don't relate to blacks because I listen to heavy metal music. Trust me, it's real. Okay, fine. But you know what? You don't have to relate. You just have to be kind to people. You know, this is the thing. And we don't have to go out there. I remember, and some of us remember, I remember in the 60s and 70s, we talked about things. Now, I'm not saying it was great back then. I'm not, you know. And here's the thing, AJ Baby. I'm glad you're saying this. That's why I love that you're here, because you are about love and acceptance, because you're trying to find your voice. Let me relanguage that. You're expressing your voice, and it's important to me. I want to hear it. Chris Boston, you crack me up. Rudy Ricos, let's be honest with each other without the hate. Everyone has valid points that pertain to their situation. Absolutely. Just so happens we live in different situations and truths. And I agree with that, Rudy. I think that you just hit it. Different situations and truths. And what if, even with that, we may need to like say, okay, we all have different truths. We all have different ideas of people. But what if we just go with the idea of being nice to each other? You know, like not looking at somebody as a stereotype, but just kind of walking in and going, oh, hi, how are you? And even if I have a thought, I don't behave that way. I'm working on it. What I want to say to all of you is I'm a work in progress. I'm not going to do this perfectly. I'm going to piss some people off. I'm going to disappoint you. I'm going to be that person who's always being honest with you. And even if I fall flat on my face, even if I say it wrong, you know, my hope for all of you is that you will be on this journey with me no matter how good or bad I sound or look, and that you will have in your heart the thing to understand that I'm trying my best. You know, I'm trying my best to be as open with you as I can be. And I think then we don't talk about it, that's when we get into trouble. I think when we all pretend we're cool and we're not saying, hey, I'm confused about this. I'm confused when people talk about diversity but put me down. I don't understand that. Michael Dennis Carlin just said, yeah, Zoe, yeah, I'm here live. She just said, I'm okay. She does live abuse free. She's fabulous. Michael Dennis Carlin said, serial killers, bank robbers, rapists, criminals, nasty people always be here. I'm just happy I didn't live next door to Jodi Arias. Okay. And here's the thing that you're saying. I agree with you. There are always going to be people who are living on the fringe. That doesn't mean I have to put a particular group of people in a pocket and just leave them there. It also doesn't mean I have to accept everybody that just because you tell me to. It means that some people I'm not going to like. And that doesn't mean you're a certain color. It just, you know, you can look like me and I don't like you. And that's, you know, that's just how I am. I'm not being nitpicky, but I truly love the quote of Dr. Martin. Yes, Martin King. That's what I said earlier. We may have come over on different ships then, but we're all in the same boat now. And that's the thing. I love that quote because to me, that's the true honor of honoring other people is that, you know, I never got to meet my neighbors in California till there was an earthquake. And then I got to know them because we were all out on the street in our bathrobes. And I went, you have a nice robe. I didn't notice that, you know, and suddenly there was one color. And it was humanity. You know, we were all frightened. The world was shaking. It was not an easy time. Yeah, and Judy Ron said it. I'm with you. We think a lot alike, coming from different backgrounds, but it's about acceptance. And I think that's what it is. You know, we just have to kind of, and you know something, Judy Ron said it. It's not tolerance, it's acceptance. It's accepting that you may be different than me, but that doesn't mean your voice doesn't count. That's where I'm coming from. And I think I go back to what you said, Midnight 56, and I love what you're saying. Then, and she's saying, okay, hold on. I don't know if you're a guy or girl, so forgive me. I mean, one thing to consider is that your decks are crafted another way. And even this conversation opens up other possibilities. Just even thinking about, oh, the images are all white. Does it matter? No. You know, that's the thing is that when the deck was drawn, the idea was that it was supposed to be a fantasy deck. There were a lot of different, it was more like, and the woman who drew it, she had this vision that I loved. And I said, can you draw it? And she said, yes. And she drew these images. And Texas Lassie, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for discussing what others are afraid to discuss. We're truly helping so many. I said we instead of you. Thank you, because I think we all are. Because, you know, the thing is that I don't know how to do it right. You know, I want to say this to all of you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if I'm doing it right. I don't know if I'm being unfair to people of color. I don't know. You know, I know that there are people who deserve a fair shot, and I want them to have it. And I think that it's very hard to express your voice if other people are telling you that you need to be a certain way. And I don't care what that means. I don't care if that's you have to look a certain way if you're white or black or Hispanic, or when we put all that into a consideration, it's like, my God, you know, if I'm trying to shut your voice down, that's not right, because you, and Texas Lassie, you just said it, you could be the person that makes the difference in this world. You know, people said, you know, somebody said, how do we do it? And I'm asking the same thing. How do we do it? But the first step of changing, we know, is admitting it. But it's the second to me is being in inquiry. It's just saying, this is a problem for me. The idea that somebody's like, I'm not going to review that because it's not diverse. And it's like, wait a minute. How do you know? Because what put me into upset over this, just so you all know, is that she was going to write a good review until someone else who was a well-known person in that field said, you know, that's I'm refusing to do this because it's not diverse. And it's like, and other people were saying that to this woman. And so she went, you know, I'm going to be a stand for this too. And what happens is they're lemmings. A lemming is someone that just walks to the side of the cliff and falls off just because everybody else is doing it. But you liked it until someone said it wasn't diverse. And see, that scares me, guys. That's what scares me, is it can happen to any one of us. And if you don't know what the McCarthy era is, go look it up. Because McCarthy in the 50s said, point out the communists and we'll bring them up. And it's scary because we can't afford to do that. You know, I think that, okay, thank you. Yeah, Sean Murphy Journal, that's kind of not cool. Thank you, Texas. Lassie's on it. Okay. Thank you. Nurse Nana said, hey, guess what, everybody? We all have the same blood. You know, blood types. Love that. I wanted to go back to something. Yeah, you know, let's see. I want to know what. Okay, Tori, the same thing happened on 9/11. New Yorkers amazingly joined together in a bond of humanity. And you know what? I want to say to you, and by the way, please, God bless Duty Ron. He was one of the first responders on 9/11. Please go over to his channel, Dutryron. He's a retired detective, fantastic guy. Please definitely follow him. And I want to say something about that. We are in a crisis right now. We're in a crisis of fake bullshit that is trying to pull us apart. And it's all by the name of diversity. Because I want to say this to you, and I think she said it so brilliantly. Oh gosh, where'd she go? She was here, was it Midnight 56? There you are. I don't see myself as a lemming. You're not. I'm a leader, and it's important to remind people consistently that we aren't including every voice. It's hard, but at least it does open up conversations. And see, that's what this conversation is. And I think the thing that I want to remind you of, though, is that we can't, it's kind of like a double negative, right? So it's like, I can't do that if I'm not doing it. What does that mean, Tori? Well, what I'm trying to say is this. What if, holy Toledo, PHP, thank you so much for that super chat. That is just off the charts. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mary Christie Rogue. Wow. Just thank you. I'm blown away. And thank you, by the way. You know why I took to this tonight, Midnight 56? I took to it because I was so upset about somebody who was reminding other people that it was okay to exclude people if they weren't diverse. Now, I think what you're saying is something completely different. And I want to really differentiate because it's actually quite brilliant what you're sharing. And I want everybody to get this because I don't want it to seem like, you know, because sometimes it can seem syrupy. Do you know what I mean? Everybody like, oh, it's a fake thing. No, what you're saying is important. She's saying it's important to remind people consistently that we aren't including every voice. Now, here's the difference. I think it's important to include consistently every voice, because the more we set the example, the more people will do it. The more we tell people to do it, the less likely they are to do it. Because you know what? It's human nature to resist, right? It's human nature to go, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. And it's like, okay. And you know what? I know that people can tell you, you know, till the cows come home, you know, but when people preach at me, and I do this, by the way, this is part of the biggest part of my training, when I train people in card reading. Hey, Christina, good to see you. When I train people in card reading, the first thing I say, and this is what I want to say to all of you, the first thing I say is never give advice. Because the minute you start giving another person advice, you're becoming part of the problem. Check that out. So when I'm doing card reading, I'm sharing with them what I'm hearing and seeing, but I'm not telling them what to do. And I'm not telling them this is their definite outcome. Because here's what happens. That makes someone addicted to you as a reader. And this is what I say to people. I'm not into addiction. You can't come to me more than once every 6 months to a year. That's it. Because it's not therapy. You need a therapist for that. Now, here's what I'm trying to say, and here's how it's similar. If I live by my rule and I hold space for you and I'm loving to you and I share with you, listen, could it be this? And that person goes, oh my God. You know, that's what Milton Erickson did. For those of you that are into therapy, he was brilliant at holding space and honoring other people's choices. And I'm going to share with you, I just did this whole thing and I talked about Stephen Covey, because people were asking me, what should I do for my teenagers? And I said, you know, it goes back to the general pattern thing. And Stephen Covey talks about it in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The idea that tell people what you want to achieve and let them amaze you with their ingenuity. See, I think the more we say we want to create some kind of equality for all voices, and we want to be truth bumps, we want open minds for everyone, and we want to embrace the different delicious, juicy colors and thoughts and ideas in our country, that's much different than me directing you to be diverse. See, I think what's happening is we're trying to create some kind of laws that are going to trap us into thinking a certain way. And it's tying people up and makes it very difficult to do their jobs, because we're trying to say, you're not going to behave, so we're going to do it this way. And what if we just say, guys, we want to find a place where everybody has a voice, where that 8-year-old child, that 8-year-old Mexican child feels proud to be a Mexican, proud to be an American, recognizes that they have opportunities and can just as easily get a house as I can or anybody else. Because I was made aware of that when I was younger. You know, I haven't said this much, but I was raised with a Black family in my high school years. I haven't really gone into it. But, you know, when I say this to you, it's, you know, we live in a different time. And I'm glad Sam, I love your Sam the Schnoz. You must be a doggy. You must be talking about your cute dog. It's really good for everyone to have a platform and voice, and I agree. Yes, you know, here's the thing. It's like, let's see. I'm just kind of checking in here. I teach Filipino martial arts and have, what's a Pinoy? Pinoy? I don't know what that means. I'm so sorry if I'm ignorant. And here's something too. Kayla, God bless you. She said, Tori, the reason that I'm filled with self-love, never fall in love with a man because he will become a boy. See, as women, which Kayla's referring to, is we fall in love with ourselves and we share that beauty with a man, because men love beauty and they love women. All men love women, by the way, even gay men, straight men, because women have that ability to be feminine and men just adore it. And that's why, you know, oh, it's a Filipino. Oh, a Pino. Okay, thank you, Tim. I was like, what? And Cruz Boston said, stay open to love always. And, you know, my friend Catherine Woodward Thomas wrote a book, Calling in the One. And one of the things she said in that book, which I absolutely love, Duty Ron, Tim's okay. Yeah, he's a good guy. But yeah, bring him back when you can. Let's see. Midnight 56, love what you're saying here, but you have to remember that your spirit of inclusion and intersectionality you had growing up, a lot of people haven't had that. That's true. So what you can do or keep doing, what can you do or keep doing to bring that to others? Bingo, that's the conversation. I love it. Everybody, I wish we could all say thumbs up to Midnight 56. I'm going to say it again because I think this is it. You have to remember that your spirit of inclusion, she's talking to me, and intersectionality you had growing up, a lot of people haven't had. So what can you do or keep doing to bring that to others? So here's the thing we do. This, and I want to say, oh, Vivian, you love that book. I love it. Catherine's great. She's a good friend. What I want to say about this, and this is the key. All I can do is continually in my own, you know, as we call it, a personal ministry. And if you talk to Duty Ron, the police do that in New York. They just carry that message, right? And so for me, like I had 2 kids come to my door the other day, and I know I live right near the hood kind of thing, and they live down the street, and they came to my door and they were selling something. And I started talking to them, and they wanted more. They wanted more. You know, you could see when kids are hungry and they're looking at me as this white woman. I have this nice house. And I said, hey, if I give you a book to read on investing, would you read it? And they both went. And the one kid said, I don't know anything about that. I said, I got a great book for you. And I said, wait here. And I went upstairs and I got 2 books. And I said, read these books. And if you've read these books, when you read these books and you come back to me, I'll help you with investing because I made money in the stock market and I'll show you how to do it. And they were like, and it was, you know, I made enough to invest in my first house. And they were both so excited, and Black kids. And I just got an email from one of them today. It was like maybe a week ago. We just read your one book. The one book, it's so awesome. We did what you said. We've written out questions for you. And can we come by next week and we're going to read the other book? I said, absolutely. So what I can do is one person at a time, one step at a time, teach them so that they then go back to their community and they go, hey, you know, here's this thing that we can study and learn from, and here's what we've learned how to do. So what we can do is teach people how to think outside that box of I'm stuck. And I think that's what we're talking about. Now, Midnight 56, I don't know that I have the full answer to that yet. And I don't disagree with you. I actually really agree. But I think one of the things that happens is that, you know, and if you ask people of color, they don't want to be thought that way. They want to be thought of as an American or included in society, but they want the same opportunities, right? Absolutely. I'm always willing to give somebody a hand up, but I'm never willing to give a hand out because then it's an addiction. It's another addiction. And so I'm excited about sitting down with these kids because I started with $50 in the bank and I didn't know how to do it, you know? And I said, if you each have $50, I'll show you how to start your own investing. And they were like, yeah, we do. Because they were selling for AT&T, you know, young kids. They were probably 19 or 20, but they lived down in the hood. You know, I said, where do you live? And they go, well, we're down in Hillcrest, which is kind of the hood down here. And I said, awesome. Then you're right up the street from me. You can come by. We'll sit down. We'll talk about it. Because, see, what we want to do is we want to show ways that rich people think, right? You're never going to become what you hate. If you hate rich people, you'll just sit around and resent them. If you hate yourself, you'll never be able to share privilege with anybody else because you'll hate yourself for having it. So you see, it becomes a vicious cycle. And it goes back to love is the answer. And I love Cheryl Ramsey just said paying it forward. See, somebody helped me when I was 19. Somebody sat down with me and said, hey, do you want me to show you this? I went, yes, I do. What book can I read? And I was into it. And I think that here's what I want to say too. Hot pink jalapenos. I love that you said that. But I'm always nice to another race. 90% of the time they're rude back to me. It's exhausting. Here's what I want to say to you. And this is going to sound really terrible and shocking, but it's because you're trying to be nice to someone. Nobody likes it when you're trying to be nice to them. People just want it if you're going to be you and you're going to help them and you're going to speak to them just like you speak to them, whatever. Does that make sense? You know, and don't take that the wrong way because I love you. I think you're fantastic. So I'm, you know, okay. You're right, Tori. See the video numbers, USA immigration video. We should help people bloom where they're planted. It benefits everyone. See, I know I'm not trying. I am nice. I'm not making it sound like you're doing something bad, but I'm saying that there is an energy that you may not recognize that you're putting out. Remember I said fifth chakra sends out an energy? Well, a lot of times we don't know what it, go back to the conversation I had last night about, was it last night? About Cindy Watts, same kind of thing. You know, it is that we don't always know what we're sending out. So when people respond in a certain way, they're my mirror. So if they're rude to me, I must be doing something. Or I represent something to them that they don't like. And oftentimes it can be something within them. So what I want to say, oh, okay, Kyan, gotcha. Let's see. I know, Rudy Rico. I have to go to bed too. Thank you so much for being here. So here's what I want to say. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're unhappy with me, give me a thumbs down. But please, please share the video. Share your thoughts. I think maybe it's because I'm blonde and I'm super sweet. You know what? Sometimes being too nice can be hateful to some people because they don't understand it. Some people if you think about it, if people have been always treated meanly, when you're nice to them, they don't like you. I know I've been like that. Believe me, that I'm a recovering meanie. That's how I can speak to it. So please like the video before you take off. Please remember also, if you would, go ahead and share. And remember that, you know, we're all trying to do our best, right? We're all trying to, you know, so funny, Renee, I wasn't being nice just talking about the weather. It's fine, talk about the weather if you want. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, you know, I think there's negativity everywhere. And I think that it really becomes, I know I'm a recovering meanie. I am, Dana. And that's the thing. It's like, I think that it begins with us, one person. And I love what Midnight 56 was saying too, is that, you see, we can only clean our side of the street and hope. I don't know, Tim. It might have been, I think he accidentally, you said something about Filipino, and I think it just, you know, because sometimes racial stuff, it can be just so, you're back, Tim, we love you, and don't worry. It's like, let's see, I'm just going to, yeah, it was an accident. That's what I think too. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Buddhist. Sometimes the Buddha bubble is nice at the temple button. The real world can be problematic. Oh, Vivian, I can't believe you said that. Do you know, years ago, remember I said I'm a recovering meanie? I went to rehab, and I think it's the second time. Anyway, I went to rehab for my anger, and I might have had some anger. And what happened was, okay. So I didn't recognize how mean I was, Vivian. So I went to the, and for a week it was like Zen, right? It's silent at night. You hear crickets. I'm from New York City, right? Crickets, quiet. And then, like, I learned all this stuff about myself. I'm like completely different. Like, I literally did a 180. And if you have heard of CARON, the Caron Foundation for Adult Children of Alcoholics, best thing I ever did. It's in, I don't know if it's still there, but it was in Pennsylvania. It was a 5-day rehab. Anyway, phenomenal experience. So you're walking out, my shoulders are dropped, I'm Zen. Who's near St. Martin? I'm coming to your house. Oh, I thought it said Market Street. I thought it said St. Martin. Come out, I'm Zen. I get in my car. I turn on the thing. The music was so loud that it went, and I was like, ah, I'm screaming. Just like, I turned it down. And what happened was, like, I didn't realize that my world had been that loud until I'd been quiet. And so sometimes we don't know. Oh, yeah. Ron loves you. Tim, we love you. Don't worry about it. You know what? I'm telling you, this chat happens so fast, everyone. Sometimes people get accidentally put in chat, or they're, you know, it's like, you know, it happens. So I'm sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Vivian. Right? You don't realize how loud your world is until you get quiet. Ooh, that's a good one. I have a friend, I had a former assistant who'd go, "That's a Toryism," and she'd write it down. I go, "Don't write them down because then I'll remember them and it's terrible." Okay, Larry says 2%. Yeah, just leave people alone. Thanks, Hot Pink. It's easy to admit when I was wrong. Yeah, it's not easy to admit when I'm wrong. You know, and I'm glad Sam said that, and I want to say this. It isn't. The hardest thing you can do is say you're sorry or I'm wrong. Because in this day and age, people go, "I told you so." And you know, that's not my jam. I don't do that to people. Usually when people apologize and, you know, I feel like there's, you know, something, I'll go, "You know, thanks for saying that. I feel better and I really respect you for that." And that's it. You know, man, little dove, we really are in this race together. You know, and put it on a mug. I don't even know what I just said. I love that. AOOOOT. Let's see. Let me look at this. How to meet you. Tim? I know we love Tim. Tim's great. Let's see. Yeah, Brazilian Goddess, me too. I'm going to have to get some beauty sleep. This doesn't happen by just accident, you know. Let's see. Me either Pink, like I said, weather was it, and he told me to go get a white hood. Ooh, that's bad. Love your chats, vids. Okay. Yeah, I think the thing is that I'm going to, sorry because you did something wrong, not because it's something they need to hear. Yes. Thank you, Mimi. That's lovely. That's when you say sorry. Yeah. Let's see. You're so welcome. Okay. So here's what I want to say. And I want to just wrap up and I just feel better sharing my truth with you guys because it really hurt my feelings when I saw that. And it really set me into a state of, oh my God, my work's not good. Everybody's going to hate me. And by the way, we all have that stuff. If you're not thinking that at times, you're not normal. And I tell you what, I remember, you know who I really respect was, gosh, now I can't think of his name. He's so cute. He's a famous actor. He's Irish. Anyway, he once said that he got such bad reviews on one of his movies, he really wanted to quit the business, and he almost quit. And I thought, wow, the power of what people can say. You know, so I just want to put this, the sticks and stones can break my bones, but words, you know what? They will hurt you because we're too sensitive today. And when I say too sensitive, as creatives, as people that want to love, we are in that mode. So, okay. Thank you, Authentic Audra. Good to see you. Tim, good to see you. I just want to kind of, yeah, see, this is nice. Cruz Boston just said, black lady screamed at my husband, "Don't shoot me," when he stopped her on a traffic stop. She then sent an apology letter to him for judging him. I cried when she reacted to him like that. That's really cool. You know, that's the thing. It's like we're all, and here's the thing. She was afraid, you know, and sorry to people for good reason. You know, and I say this to people all the time. Let's face it. If I'm driving at, you know, over the speed limit, in a car and a black person is driving in the same car and they're breaking the speed laws, they're going to get pulled over before me. And I'm getting truth bumps as I say it to you. I do not think it's right, but I think the biggest thing I can say to you is acknowledging that their fears are real. And I think that's the first thing we can say to people is we can say, you know what, this is true. It does happen. Yeah. Exactly. I'd rather be too sensitive. Yeah. So what I want to say to everyone is just remember that, you know, I love that. Oh my God, I have to say this, Mimi J. Diversity sucks. In the end, our footprints are all the same. Ooh, yeah. You know, here's the thing I want to say. Please remember that those who take offense are often the most offending. And what I will say to you is I didn't take offense to what that woman said. It hurt my feelings. And it put me in a state where I felt less than, and I felt like my work was going to be hated because of who I am. And that helped me recognize what it's like to be hated because of your skin color. Now, obviously, I'm not ever going to know, but like that really scared me. And I understood. Let's see. What did she say? Oh, sorry, I missed that. Oh, I think she retracted it. Okay. It was interesting. Aw, Desiree, I know when I'm back from Europe, it's crazy. So I think that, yes, thank you, Julia. Reality bites us in the ass when we need to pay attention. Yes. And I noticed that. One of the most prophetic, and I don't know if Judy Ron is still here, but I want to say one of the most powerful conversations, one of the most powerful conversations I ever had was right after 9/11. I flew in from California, and there were 3 people on this 747. I'm not kidding, 3 people. And that's not including the flight attendants, but 3 passengers, because no one would fly. And of course, I'm flying. And the flight attendant said to me, "Why are you flying today?" And I said, "I have to go to New York." And they were like, "But nobody's," we were talking about it. And I said, "You know why I'm flying? Because my father jumped out of an airplane on D-Day so that I had this privilege. And I have a privilege of being here. And nobody is going to take that from me. Nobody's going to scare it out of me. Nobody's going to stop me from feeling it. I'm going to live the best I can." And I remember when I got to New York and I got in a cab, and I had a cab driver, and I want to say, forgive me, he was a black guy, and he said, I think he was Jamaican. Forgive me for not remembering, but he basically said to me something really powerful. He said, "I finally understood what it was like to be on the other side of prejudice." He said, "Now I'm looking at people who are Middle Eastern and hating them for no reason." And this was right after 9/11. And he said, it's really eye-opening to me. And so it's really eye-opening to me to have somebody say, "Well, I'm not going to read your work because you're this." And I think it's hurtful across the board. And I don't think that it's kind of like one wrong doesn't make a right, but I think we need to keep talking about it. And, oh, good, Judy Ron. Thanks, babe. I just wanted to say that that was something very powerful for me after 9/11, coming back to New York. And both of my parents died in St. Vincent's, which is, of course, now gone. But I remember how powerful it was in those weeks in New York, and how incredibly proud I was of the first responders. And so I really want to shout out to you, Judy Ron, for being one of those guys, because that was extremely dangerous and tragic. And anyway, thank you for your service is what I'm saying. And thank you for all of you who serve. We have to learn how to be unafraid. Thank you, Michael Dennis Carlin. I think that I just realized that there are color issues. I thought only negative and positive. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, you know what? It's all good. I think that what we have to look at is the more we say, "Wow, I had this feeling," or "I had that feeling," and the more we go, "Yeah, okay." It doesn't define you. It doesn't mean you're a horrible person. It means that you're trying to sort out thoughts or feelings or something that doesn't feel right to you. And so I want to say that, I guess I wanted to come on here tonight and say to all of you that you matter, and I want to hear your voice. And to me, diversity is a myth. I think open-minded is the key. And I'm open to hearing what I'm doing wrong. I'm open to hearing a way to be better. I'm open to inclusion. I'm open to who you are as a person. And I believe in giving people a second chance, but I absolutely do not believe in giving people a handout. I think it's disrespectful. I think the most respectful thing we can do is offer something to people that really want it, that are willing to say, like these young people I was talking about, that are going to come by my house, we're going to sit down, and I'm going to share with them how to set up trade accounts, and I'm going to talk to them about how to do this. And they're both young. They're like 20, 19, 20. In the next 10 years, they could amass a good amount of money and own their own home. And I told them I would always help them. So we have to do it one step at a time. Thank you for saying that, Midnight 56, because that was my feeling too. Midnight 56 just said, in my humble opinion, it's really up to the artist you hired to include variety. It's not up to the artist. Sorry, it's up to you. I know as an editor, I have to curate the selections I publish. It's okay to be upset. Now discern. And that's the thing, is that my first deck is all diversity. It's all like everything: gay, straight, black, white, Asian. I mean, name a culture. I even have Eskimos. I have everybody in there. Everybody. And I never told her to do that. I gave her the manuscript and she did it. I never told this artist how to draw. I said, here, create something from your fabulous work. So for me, I did not want to direct, and I don't feel badly about that. I only feel sad that people will miss out on incredible work because of decisions that keep them from seeing something great. And I think it's the same conversation around diversity on any side we look at it. So I'm really grateful for your conversation, though, tonight, Midnight 56, and I appreciate your being here with your thoughts and your ideas. It means something to me. It does, and I certainly appreciate it. Oh, thank you. It's Eno. Thank you. I got that wrong. Inu. Eskimo. I can't say that anymore. Oh, and you know what's really weird? In the original book, it was Eskimo, and the editor came in and said, "Oh my gosh, we can't say this anymore. It's not correct." And I was like, oh, okay. Because these fables were told to me 25 years ago, by the way. This was not like last week. So they were that way. So I still say that. Thank you for correcting me. Let's see. Yeah, see, Hot Pink, the people apologize for Canada represent with those Eskimos. Yeah, that's the thing. Thank you, Bruce Lane. It's so funny because this is the key to why I'm here tonight, by the way, everyone. Stephanie Siskind just said it. Tori, when you're authentic and confident in expressing your feelings, you give me the freedom and awareness to do the same. Thank you for being such a light. Thank you for being the light, because I'm going to tell you something. You can't see this light unless you have it. And by the way, if you spot it, you got it. So if there's an issue with what I'm saying, there's an issue that's unresolved within. If there's something you appreciate, then it's something you appreciate within. I can't show you what you are not. I can only show you what you can see inside you. It's really an interesting kind of that, let's see. Yeah, I didn't know you can't say that anymore. It's Inu. I know, right? Is it Ayot? Ayot? It's dinner time. Go, happy camper. Where's Mr. Gavin? Gavin. Oh, he nearly fell off the chair. He's on his chair and he's like so into it. So, all right. Gavin, come here. Do you want a greenie? Come here. Yeah, I did say that, Midnight 56, the artist chose her own style. But your last deck you did had the same. I did. And in fact, my last deck had a lot of diversity. I just wrote that for the PR person in the press release that, I honor the artist as a collaborator. And so what happens is that the first book, the artist chose those works of art. And in this collaboration, she chose that. And what I said in the press release was, perhaps this will open a bigger conversation than just, oh, it's not diverse, but what is diverse? So, sometimes the things that we think are mistakes end up being the greatest gifts because they end up opening up a wonderful conversation so we can, be together. Let's see. Where are you? Gavin, do you want to wake up? Come here. Who's this for? I can't. Come on. He's like, I'm sorry, guys. He is like out. He's like, one ear went up like this. He's like, This ship has sailed, guys. He's asleep. All right, guys. Thank you very much for Catwoman. Are you okay? What happened, girl? You all right? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, he wants more treats. He's like, he's totally in the nope. Me too, but tomorrow the artist is going to get a hello. That's right. You know what's funny is that my first artist actually died right when the deck got published. And she had said to me, I feel like there's another card. And I kept saying, I feel like there's an angel, but not a card. And after she died, it made me realize that this deck, the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck, I don't know where the deck is. It's around here. Oh, I'm resting my computer on it. This deck, after she died, I realized that the angel that was with this deck was her, and it was about never giving up your dreams. And after she died, people were contacting me saying, I really want to hire this artist. And I'm one of the very few, actually, deck creators that actually gives the artist a byline on my deck. Most people do not acknowledge the artist. So this artist from the Ukraine, she's going to get a ton of work because she's really brilliant. But there you go. Oh my gosh, everyone. Oh, Sarah Thorpe, good to see you. So here's what I want to say, everybody. You sleep well. God bless. And thank you so much for showing up tonight and being a part of this community and allowing me to share some thoughts with you that, hey, happy birthday, Catwoman. And I just want to say peace and blessings. And as Duty Ron says, my friend Duty Ron says, love and appreciation. Please like this video. It does help the creator. Also subscribe and share with your friends. There's a share button. And let's see. Oh, thank you, Midnight 56. Great. Diversity of many things. Gender, class, age, color, location, access. Consider that carefully. Access. You're pro-diversity, actually. I am so validated. Thank you, Midnight 56. See, because I don't see like not diverse. I don't know what that means. I just know that I like people and I want people from all over the world to work with. And there you have it. Much love, everyone. Thank you so much. And I love you madly, Duty Ron. I'll catch on the next live. See you all later. Have a very blessed night, everyone. Thanks for being with me. Oh, remember, say what you mean what you say, but don't say it mean, and be nice to each other. Tomorrow's another day. Opportunity to be kind. Thanks.